This is Michael, the museum scientist and naturalist from the Sibley Nature Center here in Midland, Texas. Once again, we've got an occasional podcast. Today, my guest is Mr. Talon Cress,
Hi.
and I look forward to this one. I've been saying about you, Talon, that I see a lot of myself in you when I was your age.
Yes, sir.
One difference: you're a lot nicer person than I was at your age. So,
Really?
oh, absolutely.
Well, at least for, the general, professionalism, I guess I try to be.
Okay, well, oh, my goodness. Well, this is gonna be interesting because, I've interviewed artists that are, well established in their careers, in mid-career time of their life, and I've even, talked to some artists that are kind of in later in life with their career as artists, but I guess I could is it okay for me to say that really you're just beginning as a professional artist?
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so you're gonna have, a very unique perspective on a beginning artist,
Yeah.
and I was there at one time too, doing
Mhm.
similar type things that you were, and so, uh, I'm finding this one particularly intriguing.
Yeah, different
I think
perspective.
the first thing that, I'd like to ask you is, how old were you, and what were you doing that you really first start thinking seriously about doing art?
Well, there was a time, of course, I'd started whenever I went to UTPB, I started as a, organismal biology major, and so I continued with that, but, I think it was around 2018, I had kind of the idea of maybe I could try an art class and see how it goes. I took that class, didn't go that great. It was kind of a hit and a miss or
Mhm.
um and then I was like maybe I'm not cut out for it. I had some time to, just keep practicing after that. It kind of pushed me a little bit after I just wasn't happy with the work I did in that class.
Okay.
So, COVID around that time, I had more time to actually work and think about what I liked about art.
Mhm.
Um, and so I took another one. I took a drawing class that time. It went a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, After that, it was more just trying to see avenues that you can go down with art. I know that the most general thing that works pretty much everywhere, no matter where you're located, graphic design is always a really good outlet for creativity and also for businesses that might need a creative person. So
Okay.
that, that's pretty applicable to many different businesses and types. So, but I've always loved art since I was a kid. Um, and then, of course, I got to graduate with an organismal biology degree as well as art. So, what I really hope to do is to blend those two together
Okay.
to be able to do, like you had said that you had gotten to do
Yeah.
some scientific illustration,
Yes. Yeah.
maybe anatomy of animals or, I don't know, natural sciences, anything
Mhm.
in that realm.
Yeah. Well, did you have any particular inspiration, like when you were a child? What did you like to do as far as your art as in childhood?
Yeah. Usually it was when I was a kid, I would make a lot of these little books. So
Uh-huh.
if I had a goofy idea, then I had to get the idea out somehow. So
Uh-huh.
I would draw little characters and I'd draw them. There was different ideas I had. There was a little boy that really liked sugar, and I think that was inspired because I myself really liked sweets.
Okay.
I had a few cavities as a kid. I mean that just different ideas like that. That's what I was
Okay.
always excited to do.
But I bet, would it be accurate for me to say that you probably took it very seriously when you
Oh
were
yeah.
yeah, okay, that's
Of
kind of what I
course.
thought,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, even when I was 10 years old, me and my cousin had made a little book together,
Uh-huh,
and then my aunt, my tia Jennifer, she, printed some out for us
okay.
at work. Um, Other little books that I would give to my parents. My mom still has the original one that I made.
Oh,
It was like the bubble that never popped or something like
uh-huh,
that. Yep.
okay.
Yeah, I always took it seriously. I tried to at least.
Well, you talk about childhood serious art.
Yeah.
I was very serious,
Uh-huh.
especially with dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what I cut my teeth on.
Yeah, and look at you now.
Yeah, look at me now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I remember, an uncle of mine. Well, I guess the very first di well, I shouldn't say dinosaur because it wasn't a dinosaur, but most people aren't gonna realize that. They remember the sailback reptiles, the
Uh-huh.
dimetrodons, things like that. I remember, the movie, the 1959 version of the Journey to the Center of the Earth was in theaters at the time,
Mhm.
and so I was 3 years old, and when I saw that movie, I was just blown away by those dimetrodons.
Yeah.
Dimetrodon was the first thing I ever remember drawing, and I took it so
Yeah.
seriously. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and so I graduated from dimetrodons to birds, but I was like 3 when I got started at
Yeah.
doing that sort of thing, and I was just so put off by an uncle who wanted to show some artwork off to a college professor of arts and art. Why isn't my stuff in the paleontology division? Why in art?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So I was kind of like the little Calvin, Calvin and Hobbes.
Mhm.
He's a budding paleontologist, but he's really into dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I was just wondering about what stimulated your interest, and I think that's fascinating about those little books.
Oh, yeah. Or drawing with my parents,
Yeah,
or I'd paint with my mom, draw with my dad. He got me started, like, drawing little cartoons. That was really so it's cool to hear
uh-huh,
somebody that started out more into where they would end up in the future, where me, it was kind of like a zigzag. There was
yeah.
different inspirations all across the board.
So were both your parents into art?
My dad was really he loved to draw,
Okay.
but they both fostered me being an
Oh,
artist. They both really supported everything
yeah.
that I did, so
That is really important,
yes.
especially to have primary relatives,
Oh,
family,
of
to give you
course.
that type of support.
And when I wanted to change majors, or not really change majors, but add more onto
Uh-huh.
the plate, they were both really supportive of that too.
Well, other than their parents, was there any particular teacher from childhood that encouraged you to with your art that you recall?
Um, Not necessarily any specific professor or teacher.
Okay.
No, I think it more was just at home. It was kind of a hobby thing.
Okay.
That was what I did whenever I just wanted to
Yeah.
have a little bit of imagination time.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Um, you mentioned that, let's go forward into your, college career, I guess. Uh, you said you started out as an organismal biology major. What all coursework is involved in organismal biology?
Pretty much general biology studies all of the different facets of science. There was organic chemistry was definitely the most difficult for me, at
Yeah.
least. Um, but animal behavior was a class that I really enjoyed, getting to learn about why animals
Okay.
do certain things.
All right.
That's when I started noticing even the little things that are around town. Like, um, there was a project that we did where we had to catch and mount different invertebrates, um, different invertebrate insects, and so that was and then there was another project where we got to do, a study about some animal, and so I decided ants. And so ants, they're stereotypically always gonna come after your food, like, on the picnic table or
Mhm.
whatever. So my thinking was, well, why do they do that? Uh, what do they prefer? Do they prefer the salty foods or the sweet? And then going down that rabbit hole, it was cool to learn that there's a reason why they would prefer that based on where you are geographically.
Okay.
Uh, if you're closer to the ocean, they might have a little bit more salt in their diet just
Uh-huh.
naturally. So we aren't really close to that, so they preferred salty food here
Okay.
versus sweet, maybe, closer to the ocean. So,
Okay.
but there was those sorts of classes, general biologies, um, microbiology was, I think, the very last one I took. So yeah, pretty much all facets of it.
Okay. And then So that's how you started out was getting trying going for that biology degree. Well,
Yes, sir.
what prompted you to expand it and having this, I guess it's a double major?
Yes.
Okay, then what, prompted you to get the double major with art?
Well, like I said, in 2020, I actually had some success with one class, so I was really excited about that. But I didn't want to just let go of everything I had worked towards on the biology track, so I just decided to see if I can
Yeah,
finish both successfully, hopefully. So it did work out eventually. It just trying to
yeah,
balance both. It is two different sides of the brain, so that
yes,
was.
yeah,
But it was ultimately
yeah,
they inform each other, I think, and it makes it more interesting. Gives
okay,
you a little bit of individuality as an artist too. So, and I also was able to enter the juried show for the first time. I didn't in 2018 because that definitely wouldn't have gone so well. But 2020, I got to enter some of our. There were more practice drawings
okay.
where you're learning the basics, but I wasn't a art major yet. And then a juror from Texas Tech, she was an art professor, Tina Fuentes.
Oh,
She
I know who Tina Fuentes is.
she's great,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
She, was the juror for that show for the, I guess, freshman, sophomore
yeah,
show,
okay.
and so I, entered it. She gave me an award just from her own personal, funds
I'm
because I
not mis
wasn't an art major.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Tina Fuentes got her start as a student at Odessa College.
Really?
I think so.
I didn't know that. I've talked to her since then, and
Yeah,
she didn't let
I
us know
may
that.
be wrong, but it seems like I read that, so
Yeah, probably.
it might be one of those things, trust but verify sort of
Yeah,
things.
maybe that's
Yeah,
why she came down here, but yeah,
yeah, that
that definitely changed the way I thought of myself as
yeah.
an artist.
I've not been fortunate enough to ever have her because when I was at Tech, I mean, it was before Tina Fuentes came to Tech,
Oh, yes.
so I go back a ways. Um, have you okay, so did you say that that's your goal ultimately is to become a scientific illustrator?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that would be a great way to blend both. That
okay.
would really be great.
Have you ever had the opportunity to do a scientific illustration for a professor or anybody?
Not necessarily professionally.
Okay,
There was I took a, botany class.
okay.
That was one of my last semesters, and so we found different specimens all across town,
Uh-huh,
and we had to identify them and illustrate them. So they were more for the project, not necessarily a commission work.
okay,
So, but yeah,
okay. Um, kind of trying to figure out exactly how to ask that because I've experienced this a lot.
yeah,
Uh, Part of you is scientist and part of you is artist. And it seems like you're going to have a foot in two different camps that are
hmm
going to be competing for your attention.
hmm
My personal experience was that when I was really involved with the sciences, the artist kept beckoning me, come back over, come back over, back over. And then when I went over to the art side, well, the science kept calling. And so
yeah,
um, it was a difficult thing to find a balance
yeah.
for me. I mean, granted, or I gradually found that balance, but it took a while to do it. I was just wondering if you had that process started in you yet.
For sure, in school it did. I mean, I think,
Okay.
and then after graduating, you're kind of moving in different lanes, trying to see where exactly you're gonna land.
Uh huh.
I think that for sure art's just it's always right there. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you're at, you can pick up a pencil, you can do whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
With the science interest that I have, it is more about, like, exploring and, noticing things about, the different flora and fauna around
Mm.
here. That's really what I like to do. So,
Yeah.
that one's you have to really seek it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's the way I guess I balance it is there's one where you're seeking it. There's one where it's always there, and you have to try to find your
Uh-huh.
express or your ways to express. So,
Yeah.
but I been trying lately to really blend both with the concepts that I have too. That's
Okay.
really what I've enjoyed doing because it makes unique work that, uh, it's fun to talk about too.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I know you would know that too because
Yes.
yeah, and all your walking into the Sibley, seeing all the compositions that you've made, it's really cool because it turns the anatomy of the animal into a composition. Like, there's a box turtle when you walk in, and so you get to see the details close
Mhm.
up, but then the whole picture plane is
Yeah.
covered by him.
I think one of the most interesting paintings I've seen, I'm a really big fan of Canadian artist Robert Bateman. I don't know if you're familiar with him or
I've
not.
probably seen some work.
Okay. He's very, very famous Canadian artist. But I was reading something they was saying about a particular close-up painting of, I wanna say it's a black rhinoceros. It was just kind of resting on the ground, and you're up real close to it
Yeah,
and looking at the textures and things like that.
yeah.
He describes it as a landscape.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so and he basically is treating it like a landscape.
Yeah,
It's just a different way of looking at it, and, it's not just a picture of a rhinoceros. It takes
exactly.
a whole different interpretation and dimension to it
Mhm.
when it's viewed through the lens of a landscape.
Yes.
So I thought that was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, but right now, you're currently employed at the
I'm working at the Ellen Noel Art Museum in
okay,
Odessa, and I'm also doing, freelance graphic design.
okay,
So I've also been working with Complex Community on their artworks.
okay.
Yes.
Rumor has it that you've already done a piece there at Ellen
Yes.
Noel. Could
Yeah.
you tell us about that?
Well, last, fall, I was told that they wanted to maybe add an artwork to the floor of the, revolving door, and so whenever they spoke to me about it, I said, "Of course, whatever you want me to do.
Mhm.
It could be digital, it could be I could paint it, whatever y'all have time for and whatever we have the means to do." I said, "I'll figure out a way to do it because it's a
Okay.
really cool opportunity to have people walk on your work every day. That would be great." So the way that I started, we talked about different themes. They wanted because it's 4 corridors basically,
Mhm.
the main revolving door, so themes of 4 came up. We talked about the seasons, we talked about elements, and then, we also talked about because the president of the board, Lissa Wagner, her mom really loved butterflies, so I made 3 versions of the door. One of them is a sticker now that we're selling there. That's the butterfly design that I made, and
Oh,
then there's
okay.
also what we ended up landing on was, the seasons, and it's kind of inspired by, stained glass
Okay.
paints. Yeah.
And so what medium did you use to actually do it on the floor?
Well, so it ended up being a vector print design
Oh,
that
okay.
they were able to print on a really big, I don't it's an installation, so they had to install it, kinda the same way that they do, like, a basketball court,
Oh,
like the
okay.
logos and stuff like that. That's what we
Okay.
ended up because we were running out of time. It opened in December,
Uh-huh.
and I was given the idea, like the time to make 3 designs and then present them all within about 2 months. So
Okay, that's another area as I was gonna have
yeah,
you started, taking on projects where you're up against
the
a
clock.
clock?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh,
It was really exciting though. It was
and,
fun.
yeah, well, yeah, it's exciting and fun, and it depends also on who your client is at the time. I mean, the bigger the client, the more
Yeah.
pressure you
It was a
feel.
lot of pressure.
Yeah,
It
oh,
was.
yes, yeah. So I was just wondering if you had, started to experience that yet.
Yes, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah, there was
okay.
there was times where I mean, I was working on it all day while I was at work. I was working at it at home into the late hours, trying to like finalize the design and perfect them before I presented them.
Yeah,
And of course, that day that I presented them to, it was the director of the Ellen Noel, it was Lissa Wagner, and a few different people that are involved with her, and it was definitely a little nerve wracking.
yeah.
But I mean, if you know, people can walk in there now and they can walk over my design,
Yeah.
my little signature is there. It is a really great feeling for an artist for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, Misty and I are gonna be, doing some type of activity coming up
Yeah.
at Ellen Noel, and we're
Yes.
both anxious to see your design on that floor, and
I'll have to
we
make sure
just
to
I don't know if I wanna step on your artwork, I
yeah.
really don't.
Oh, people do, and sometimes it gets dusty and dirty, and I'm like, "Man, we gotta find, like, a little Swiffer or something for the beginning of the day," because it especially, because there's a 2nd floor,
Uh-huh,
so you can look down on it, it looks really cool
okay,
with the sun coming in.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most exciting things I've gotten to do.
okay. Well, s project yourself just a little bit in the future. I wanna ask you, like, say, 5 years from now, what do you see yourself doing?
Well, I'm hoping that I can start going down that avenue of maybe, like, pretty soon reaching out to, publishers or maybe different museums around Texas, like,
Mhm,
really kind of branching out slowly,
'kay,
kinda casting a wider net would be really cool to not only do graphic design, but also, um, if people, publishers or whatever, they need some work of maybe they're writing about ants or like there was a recent piece I did where it was the mutualism between ants and tree hoppers on a sunflower. Maybe somebody might need an artwork that's designed based around that kind of concept.
mhm,
I can do that or
okay,
things like that. That would be great to start doing that soon. Maybe getting more clients for graphic design because
uh-huh,
I like to work and to know exactly what I'm working towards.
yeah,
It's great to kind of be my own boss in that way too.
okay. Well, in a let's put ourselves in, like, into a perfect worlds and a perfect, employment situation, work
Yeah.
situation. Ultimately, what do you see yourself doing with it?
Trying to stay creative. That's, I think,
Okay.
whether it be graphic design or illustration or both.
Yeah.
Um, I think working at a museum has definitely opened my eyes to kind of that environment of
Uh-huh.
there's curious people, and I think that's
Yeah.
fun to be around people
Yeah.
that are curious and they want to learn. So somewhere like that, that's really nice
Yeah.
too.
That's the route I ended up taking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went into the museum world. I was always fascinated with museums,
Mhm.
even as a child.
Yeah, because it's a perfectly curated place that,
Yeah.
they build it up for you to see, what they're trying to
Uh-huh.
showcase, so that's what I like about Sibley too, is you can walk in and see different specimens, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And most museums, they're large enough. I mean, they have the displays. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Most of the stuff that goes on in the museum, you will never see. It's like down in the basement or in
Oh,
the
yeah.
corridor or wherever,
Like
just
the,
out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. So that's really where all the work takes place,
mhm.
out of public view. And but anyway, yeah, that's the avenue that I ended up taking. So I was just kind of curious, what you saw yourself doing, like say, okay, in a perfect world, this is what I would like to be
Yeah.
doing, type thing.
That's kind of what I've been thinking the past year since I
Yeah.
graduated is where
Uh-huh.
exactly ultimately would I like to end up, and as long as I'm making things
Yeah.
and whether it be, for businesses like graphic design or if I get to go down that avenue where there's more, opportunity for scientific illustration, I think that would really be the ultimate goal, like,
Okay.
that was a goal this year too.
Well, let's say you do uh, go real strongly into scientific illustration. Even scientific illustrators, they're specialists.
Yeah.
What would you see as your specialization if you went that direction?
Um, the natural sciences, either, animal science or I really liked studying, different specimens in botany too.
Okay.
I did another, it was a digital work just because I wanted to try both, and so
Hmm.
there was one that was, of a silver leaf nightshade where you kinda learn about the different stages of them until they're
Uh-huh.
mature, and the little berries,
Yeah.
and then it's the whole cycle again. And
Uh-huh.
I really like, I guess, learning kind of the stages of
Yeah.
either insects, animal science, or
Uh-huh.
botany too. So
Yeah. I remember a few years ago there at the, oh, what's that gallery there on the campus of, UTPB? What's it called? The
I should know
yeah,
that.
I should too, but
It's the Cardozier.
yeah, yeah. It's been several years ago, but they had a botanical illustration, show there.
Really?
I think it was somebody's private collection.
I wonder if that's what's in the ST building now. It's full of botanical illustrations.
Really?
Yeah.
What building?
The ST built the science and technology, sorry.
I have not been in that. I used to teach at UTPB,
Yeah,
and everything that I
I
ended up
think that may have
it
been a
was in the
different.
Mesa building.
Uh-huh.
And so they were when I was still there, they were constructing or they're about to break ground on the, science building, so I have not been in there,
Oh,
so
okay.
I've got to go in there.
You will for sure. They're all over the walls. It's just lined with them.
Okay,
Yeah. So that was another thing. I was looking at those every day going to class, and I was like, that would be a really cool job.
okay, do you recall what were they botanical illustrations?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall what they were?
I don't remember like specific ones necessarily, but
Okay, the show that I remember seeing there in the gallery was,
it may have been wildflowers.
it was, it was a group of flowers called, called Protea.
Uh-huh.
I think they were native to South Africa or someplace like that, and anyway, it's just a series of I mean, dozens and dozens of these, watercolor and I think mostly transparent watercolor, but there might have been
Yes.
some that were watercolor and gouache
I
of
think
these
it
different
yeah.
species of Proteus, and
Uh-huh.
just whenever you saw everything right there together, it was just absolutely gorgeous.
Especially if it was that same collection, it's a lot of work.
Well, I'm definitely gonna go have to go check
For
that out for
sure.
myself, or, is it on any particular floor?
It's on the first floor.
First
Yeah.
floor, okay. I'll make plans to do
I
that
think
then.
there's a lot of construction on campus right now, so you might have to go in like a back
Okay.
way.
I will find a way to see it, that's for sure. Well, right now, you've got a show of your work at Sibley Nature Center,
Yes, sir.
and, tell us about that show that you've got going on.
That show is a collection of the recent work I did this past year and then the work that I did during school too. Um, and a lot of, the same inspiration kind of stuck with me throughout both times.
Uh-huh,
Whenever I first started painting, that was the easiest avenue for me to go down was landscapes because I love being outside. I love the different, it's a composition in itself to see a beautiful landscape, or maybe if you're here in the desert, then sometimes it might be a little more of a simple one, but getting creative with color and uh, just different aspects of it to really, I guess, heighten the experience, to
okay,
elevate how you feel or how you, I guess, how you're perceiving
mhm,
where you live and the experience of it. So there's that aspect with landscapes and kind of the freedom that a landscape presents,
mm,
or yes, that you perceive a landscape as. And then there's other aspects that are a little more conceptual in my work that are more have to do with different constraint or limitation that you might face in day-to-day life.
okay,
And so that's kind of where I started. Whenever I was getting the show ready, I was trying to think of what my main inspirations were, and I think that's it. It's constraint versus freedom. And as I was thinking about it more, I would like to continue moving forward, kind of putting those two together, showing that even in nature, there's constraint. It's not just
mhm,
endless freedom. There's systems in nature that animals, abide by, and it's just nature that you find some kind of system to follow because it's
okay,
just convenient or it
uh-huh,
makes things easier. So, but right now that's what's going on. Like there's the diptych of the tree that I did.
yes, yeah,
That one's one of my favorites because it is what I really like about nature artwork is that you can kind of convey uh, our own experience by illustrating what happens in nature.
okay,
Like the tree, it made up the landscape. It transformed it whenever they cut it to just the stump, but it's still there. It's still a part of the ecosystem, just in a different way.
Okay.
That's what I really liked about it. So I created charcoal from that tree because not only does that make the artwork more unique to that specific landscape, but it also is a transformation too, making the bark into charcoal.
Okay.
So that was one. Or just different aspects of me and my family's life. There's, you know, aspects of constraint like chronic illness is something that I was kind of inspired by for more of the, I guess, the gloomier pieces that I've done that just show different aspects of life
Mm,
and that too. So
yeah.
there's like the soulless in nature, and then there's the other aspects of life that might be a little more limiting.
Yeah, I would encourage, everybody to come see your show at
Yeah.
Sibley Nature Center.
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a very nice show.
I'm so
It's
glad that it
a
worked out.
lot of diversity to it.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
That's just things that have popped up over the years that tried to do my best to
Mhm.
convey, I guess.
I think one of the things I was really impressed about, well, our artists that we have at Sibley Nature Center, we provide for them a reception, and I think it impressed Paul, Misty, and me, all 3 of us. It really impressed the attendance of those that came to your reception. We
I'm
That
glad.
is the biggest attendance I can recall that we've ever had.
Really?
And so I guess it was family members and friends and you seem to have quite a network.
Yeah, I've been trying to grow a network. Professors and
Yeah.
yeah, I also was posting a couple of little edits that I did for Instagram to kind of
Uh-huh.
also let people know,
Yeah.
if they were able to go, that it was happening. And I've been trying to grow my social media lately, so
Okay.
that was kind of also
Yeah.
a opportunity to make more videos
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed, especially meeting your family, your parents and your brothers, and
Yes, sir.
so, I just sensed a family closeness that was there,
For sure.
and, as I had help, uh, becoming an artist. I mean, I didn't have a lot of family members, but there were people certainly in my camp that
Yeah.
certainly elevated me when things were down and encouraged me, and so I is I take that's a truism in your family
Oh,
too.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think that it would be as easy to get myself out there if I didn't know at least they would be there.
yeah,
If I put myself out there and nobody shows up, at least family will be there.
yeah,
So it's a good safety net, and they
yeah.
encourage you, and they'll be the ones to tell you that you're great. Even if something isn't great, maybe they'll encourage you a little better than they should or whatever. But yeah.
Kinda reminds me of my mom has passed away several years ago, but anyway, uh those, 4 panels I have there at the front of the auditorium there at Sibley Nature
Oh,
Center.
yes.
That was my first job at Sibley, mind
Yeah.
you, that I was hired to paint those panels,
And
and
they're
so
really good.
I was initially hired as an artist at Sibley Nature Center,
Uh-huh.
but it's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember, uh, uh, taking a picture of it and sending it to my mom, who was
Mhm.
living in Arkansas at the time, and, I was just so pleased with the way it came out. I mean, it was not smooth sailing by any stretch of the imagination because I had to teach myself how to paint,
Yes.
and while doing those, I mean, so
And it doesn't look like you were just learning how.
oh, I
Oh,
was. It was a steep learning curve too, but anyway, I was really proud of the way it turned out, plus I had some help. I had to teach high school students how to paint as well as I was learning.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And so, it was a group effort, really.
That's how you learn best, right? It's
Yeah.
teaching?
But, anyway, when I showed my mom the pictures of the paintings I had done there at Sibley Nature Center, I was talking to her over the phone about it, she said, "Yeah, It almost looked like a professional did those. I said, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
She thought, "Oh, I guess a professional did do them." I said, "Thank you."
That's right, yeah. It worked out that way.
Yeah, it works out that way.
Who's to say who's real professional or not,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
We make ourselves
there
professionals.
you go. But I just thought that was one of the funniest
Oh,
things that she ever said to me.
oh, yeah. That was nice of her to realize.
Yeah,
Yeah, and family, they are the biggest support, so
they are.
and sometimes they'll give you a hard time, but
Yeah,
that helps you to also grow,
yeah,
right?
of course.
Yeah.
Well, have I neglected to ask you anything that you'd really like to share?
I think that was pretty good. You got me talking, and I'm a quiet guy, so
I'm a quiet guy too, and
Uh-huh.
all the programs I've been doing at Sibley Nature Center, what's one of the things I point out when I was a child, I was always the quiet one.
Me
I was
too.
a very quiet kid.
Or at
I
least,
just
like, after junior high around there, I
yeah,
really didn't talk much at
I
school.
didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't either, and I make that point that even though I had a good vocabulary, I just didn't feel like I had anything to say, but I'd let my drawings and things like that
Yeah.
do my talking for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
It's a good way to express yourself without having to really say anything.
yeah,
Yeah. There's a few pieces in the show that are kinda like that, where it was things that I was going through that nobody really knew at school, but it was a way of kind of, expressing something
yeah,
was going on without writing it out, spelling out exactly what it was.
yeah.
So, like, I had hypermobility that was really messing with my, joints.
Okay,
Yeah.
I also have hypermobility.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and you know how I mean, it can be you have to stay on exercise constantly to keep things in place.
I want us to have another conversation specifically about
Yeah,
this because I
sure.
have some things to talk about.
For sure,
So,
yes.
okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
there was some times where it was a struggle to like a gloomy day like this, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In every cell of your body,
Yeah, I know.
not just the joints.
One thing that's helped though is lifting weights. It helped me before,
Yeah.
and then I hurt my shoulder, so I had kinda taken a break,
Yeah.
and then taking the break made it worse. I started getting injuries everywhere,
Yeah.
like my knees,
Mhm.
my forearm, different random things, and art was making it kinda worse, but in a way, it was also a way to kinda talk about it.
Yeah.
So there's a piece in the show, that red one that looks like my skeleton is kinda being
Yeah.
exposed.
Okay. I was wondering about
Yeah.
that one.
It's
Okay.
because I would tell my family I'd come home and I was like, "Man, I feel like I'm falling apart all of a sudden."
Okay.
And so then I saw an artwork that I was inspired by that was kinda like that, like a mural falling apart,
Okay.
and it's a portrait painted on the mural. And so I was like, "I should try that,
Yeah.
but make it more about anatomy and the
Okay.
places that I was kind of hurting." So
Okay.
in the painting, I think my shoulder's completely exposed, and
Okay.
it's kinda also a way to expose how I was feeling at the
Uh-huh.
moment. Yeah.
Okay. This conversation is going to get continued. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Um,
It's unfortunate that we can
yeah.
agree on that, or that we can, yeah,
Yeah.
commiserate on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, oh, there's another piece in there. You got a three-dimensional piece. I'm curious because I get asked a lot of questions about that,
Really?
especially I get kids, 2nd, 3rd grade. Is this a dinosaur foot? And yes, no, no, no. It's a piece of art.
But where did the dinosaurs eventually evolve towards? Bird feet.
That's what
Yeah,
I hear.
exactly.
But what I don't know if you've told me the significance behind it, but anyway, what
Yeah.
my interpretation of it is, okay, you see this bird foot, it's got these long, sharp claws,
Yeah.
and you see these paintings on the wall, well, that's the artist that did this. This is the three-dimensional piece of art. Now, this artist's name is Talon,
Yes.
just like the talons of an eagle or the talons of a
Yeah,
hawk.
that's
And
where it
so
came from.
my interpretation is it's a play on this guy's name.
Yes, that was really where it, like, originally started, because
Oh, okay.
eagles were always a part of like, when I was a kid growing up, that was always kind of a part of my identity was Oh, I was named after eagles.
Okay.
But in reality, I was named after the eagle's claws. So,
Okay.
because my grandpa loved eagles, my grandma does. So my parents named me Talon, and I always give them kudos because it is a unique.
It is
You
a
don't
very
really
unique
see it
name.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where they saw it.
Okay.
My other brothers have good names, they're just more normal names,
Yeah.
Ethan and Zach. So,
Okay.
but I always tell him Talon is so cool. So I wanted to do something that was a tribute to that,
Uh-huh.
and I decided to shine the spotlight on the foot
Okay.
because that is where the name came from, not the whole eagle, just the
Yeah,
foot, the
just the
claws.
cause, and so that's the interpretation that I just
Yeah,
picked up on it, and I've been telling the kids that whether it was true or not.
yeah, no, that is
If it wasn't true, it ought to be true.
that's what it was. Yes, I wanted to do something, and then it's also fun to do oversized
Yeah.
artwork. So that
Okay.
was what I was kind of gravitating towards, the oversized
Okay.
3D works. Whenever I was ending my time at school, I made a really big controller, like a game system controller that's like this big, and
Yeah.
so that was what I was also kind of going towards, but it
Okay.
was more, yeah, to shine the light on what I was named after. And
Okay.
then I named it Letting Go because it was the end of my time at school. I was at school for a really long time.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like this is the last big project I'm working on. So it's letting it go, but whatever eagle that foot belonged to, they had to let it go.
I
That's
see.
what I was thinking.
Well, Talon, this has been a real pleasure and an eye-opening experience for me,
Same
and
for me.
I feel a certain more of a kinship with you
Yeah.
now than before, and I one of your instructors, Irene Perry,
Yes.
she's the one that called me initially and was telling me about you,
Yeah.
and I think she was suggesting that you go over and talk to me, and she wanted to know if I'd be willing to talk with him. Well, sure, sure. And it's been one of the best conversations that I've ever had getting to meet you, and now I just feel, even more of a kinship,
Oh, yeah.
just this little talk that we've been having
I'm
here.
very glad that she got us in touch because it has
Oh,
been
I am
very
too.
fun to know you and to
Oh,
learn more about
yeah,
your story and how you kind of came up and where you ended up. Yeah, it's been really great to put things
yeah,
into perspective
yeah.
starting out. So, yeah, I appreciate getting to talk to you.
Well, thank you very much, Talon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very
Okay.
much.